It's a character-driven piece that takes place in California. And so it's a kind of it's a love letter to California. It's a love letter to the hard-boiled noir kind of genre. It's funny, darkly funny, and it's really, I think at times, really heartfelt and even sad at times. So yeah, it's a weird a combination of things that I think comes together in one beautiful stew.
Um, tell us about, give us the elevator pitch. What's the story?
Well, it's about a guy who has done one bad thing in his life, but on the scale of badness, it's not awful. In the confines of like the hard-boiled world, it's not awful, but he pays a big steep price for it. And all he wants to do is go to a place where he can kind of find himself again and have peace and not deal with it. And he kind of is owed money by Armenian gangster in Glendale, and once he goes to ask for that money, he ain't getting to that tranquil place without a lot of pain and turmoil. And he meets this kind of crazy woman who injects some sort of spark and life into him, and they become a team.
What is it about these really flawed characters that you enjoy?
Well, I guess I recognize those souls. I think I don't know what it is, but uh, I was raised by a really phenomenal woman who, anytime I did anything bad in my life, I felt incredible sense of guilt, and so I've kind of lived with that my whole life and trying to process that. And I just like characters who are, that's why I always love the genre. It's like, how do you tell stories about people who are on the fringes and have made mistakes, and do we give them chances? Do they give themselves chances? So I think they're just much more interesting characters to tell. That's why I love the genre.
But it's a twisted kind of redemption story, right?
It's a very twisted redemption story. Yeah.
Um, you have some incredible TV credits, yet you can make any show you want, but yet you make a movie like this. So is it a labor of love? What is it?
Complete labor of love. It's like, I went to film school, and Martin Scorsese came and spoke, and he said, "Well, I do four for myself and one for them, you know, and or one for them and one for me." He was talking about the studios, and I figured, well, I've done 40 for them and one for me. I didn't have the quite the career that Marty has, but it was a labor of love. It was like a reckoning with my like life of like, oh, okay, I gotta go back and make a movie, and go back to my roots of going back to independent film. And the TV business has gotten really complicated. I mean, I worked in the heyday when I worked on Friday Night Lights. They let us make the TV show. We had really no um, guidelines. They just let us do it. And even when I worked on like The Affair, they let us make that show for the most part. But it's really changed the business. It's like you have 1,000 notes and 1,000 executives giving you notes. And quite honestly, I was done with it. So I just wanted to make a movie. I set out to make a movie on a certain budget that I knew that I would have the freedom to do exactly what I wanted to do. And so it was an incredible experience.
Tell us about your casting choices. Phyllis and Dawn, and the Armenians. By the way, what is with the Armenians being the gangsters du jour? This is the second
You
film
know,
you've
when
seen.
I saw Nora, I was saying, "Oh my God, that's so weird." But I lived in Glendale for 16 years. So Glendale is, I think, the biggest Armenian population outside of Armenia. So, and they were all my neighbors, you know. So I just wrote what I know. Um, I mean, Shea Whigham, I love. He's one of my favorite actors. I worked with him on Dirty John, and he came and I wrote the script with him in mind, sent him the script. He loved it. He actually got Carrie to read it. I've always wanted to work with Carrie. I couldn't be luckier to have two, I think, of the finest working actors and really unheralded, especially in Shea's case, because, Carrie's getting nominated for this and that, but Shea is so good. And, he's always the second or third or fourth. And I keep on using the Harry Dean Stanton analogy of Paris, Texas. Like, you got to give these guys a chance, man, because they are so truthful. I mean, if you look at all the noir movies, and you look at the George Rafts or the Humphrey Bogarts, they were always a second or third guy until they became the leads. So it's a little bit of a homage to that as well.
By the way, which is your favorite noir?
Oh God, well, it depends on what year. I love Pickup on South Street. Uh, I love Kiss Me Deadly, the Robert Aldrich movie. I love Point Blank. Um, I love the Killers. I love anything by Jean-Pierre Melville, Le Samurai or Le Cercle Rouge. I love Breathless is probably, could be my favorite top 10 movie of all time. I love The Long Goodbye. Um, and there's a really great movie that really influential called The Late Show by Robert Benton that stars Art Carney and Lily Tomlin. People need to watch that movie because it's a really quirky, odd movie.
Does Gilda make it to that list?
Maybe. There's so many. Oh my God. I can't even I can't even begin to where are you from? Are you which you have an accent?
Well, I'm I'm Armenian,
Okay.
originally from Egypt. But
Okay.
um, let's talk about your movie.
Uh,
Shooting this film, it looked like you were having a lot of fun. But what are the challenges of shooting a road movie like this in a place like California, which supposedly has become a very difficult place to shoot in?
there were no challenges. I come from I start off in low budget movies. I've done tons of television. I believe sometimes less is more. Uh, it's if I had the crew was small, so like I vowed when I do TV, I show up and there's like 1,000 campers and huge, and it's like I don't want to make a movie like that. I just want to make a movie with a bunch of my friends and have a little traveling troupe and go around California. So I always said I want the footprint to be really small, and I wanted to make just a small movie that had minimal kind of things in it, just really characters against a landscape. So once you have that mindset, and I'm telling you, people love making movies like that. They love it.